from the stony roads of Basement Boulevard and Rock Bottom Avenue, this is Cellar with your hosts, Butch and Coffee.
Hello, everyone, and I hope you're staying warm because god damn the weather this past week even.
This winter has just been unrelentless in terms of the snowfall, and for all those in Texas, I really hope it gets resolved.
I really hope so too, because you guys got slammed hard.
I
thought we got slammed up here, but you guys got worse.
We got butt fucked, but down there, they're not used to it. They're not prepared for something like this. This was literally Snowmageddon. And we're getting more as we speak. You can't imagine 6 inches in Houston, but on to the sports news. Hopefully this warms your heart a teeny bit. Let's start in a nice and warm, sunny place. How about Florida?
Yes, let's talk about Florida. Let's talk about Daytona specifically. Daytona 500. Go ahead.
Before we even talk about the results of the race, they should have delayed it. I know there was the whole thing with last year. They're only able to get like a couple laps in, and they had to postpone the race to Monday. They honestly should have done this because after lap 15, you wait 6 hours. All the fans have pretty much left, and pretty much everyone's tuned out because they think there's no way they're going to be able to make up this race. And sure enough, at 9 o'clock, just like every other driver. Yeah,
green flag dropped. We went back racing.
It was a joke. The drivers were even like, really? We're not just going to go home. We're not just going to go to our hotels and wait until tomorrow. You really want to try to get this in tonight? Although in a state of Corona, I get you need to get this done as soon as possible. Well, but
I actually have one thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I said the one thing that actually would support the delay is that they're going to be at Daytona for another week because the next race is at the road course. So they're still going to be there for another week. So I don't see why they didn't push it back.
At least a day or two?
Okay, at least tell me this. What was so important on tomorrow night's TV that you couldn't push this back? Nothing. Right. Nothing. What's going on Fox on Monday night? Nothing good.
Isn't it The Masked Singer on Monday nights on Fox?
I don't know. I don't watch The Masked Singer.
I'll check the Monday night Fox broadcast.
Check the Monday night broadcast and tell me what's on. But anyway, yes. So after a long ass rain delay, they went back green flag racing, and it was just typical Daytona. Nothing really happening. A lot of shuffling here and there until you got to the last few laps, and just like every super speedway, when they wreck, they fucking wreck.
That was insane.
It's one of the reasons I love Daytona, because I know going to the last lap, if you're at the front or if you're at the back, you got to be very careful, because if you're caught up in that. Now, to be fair, the wreck didn't come until the exact last lap, so
I will say
if you were expecting overtime, that's not the case. What did happen was,
let's talk about.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about two teammates colliding.
My prediction of Brad Keselowski winning the Daytona 500 almost came true. What happened was, I'm not going to say utter sabotage. You don't do that to a teammate on the last lap of the first major race, the Super Bowl of NASCAR. You do not do that. What Brad Keselowski did to Joey Logano was beyond stupid. It was just utterly disrespectful. You are supposed to protect your teammate in a situation like that when they're trying to draft and push from the side. I was really surprised Keselowski. It does seem like Keselowski may have been pushed into Logano, but it's still no excuse for Keselowski spitting Logano out.
Now, if this was Formula One, there would definitely be team orders. Like, imagine you're going into, let's say, Zanzibar, or let's go Australia. And you're down to the last lap, and it's Lewis Hamilton and his teammate Valtteri Bottas behind him. Do you think that in Formula One, Valtteri Bottas would try and make a move for a lead? No, because there would have been a team order play saying, we need the points, just stay 1-2, don't engage. Should the same thing happen in NASCAR? No, but this exact reason is why team wars exist. This reason. You don't want these wrecks to happen. Because now they...
And this This ain't the first time they've gotten into it. Apparently,
Nope.
Logano's does the Keselowski,
Oh,
but
oh, this happens a lot more in NASCAR. It's part of the reason why I still love it because it's the one sport where
I
two
do
teammates can fight each other.
get out of the car and fight a pit row, or just two random drivers going on it. You gotta love when they do fisticuffs, but. Two big ones in this race, and probably one of the most surprising upsets in the Gray Americans race history. Michael McDowell winning
Yes.
for Front Row Motorsports, his
How
first
many how
ever
many races did he have
win.
before he actually won? He's been there for a long time.
358 races over
God
14 years.
dang. 14 years to get a win. That you know what? That makes it all the more sweeter. You wait 14 years and you get your big win on the
Is
biggest stage. That's
I'm
Daytona for
thinking,
you.
yeah, he has not really
Now,
been.
here's
I'm
the
not saying
here,
not good, but
now here's the funny
he's
thing about NASCAR and something that I still hate about the current format is that you expect when you win Daytona, the first race of the season, you're expecting to lead the points, right? Well, even though he won Daytona, he's only fifth in points right now.
because of the stages.
Yes, because of stages and other factors. I fucking hate stage racing of NASCAR. Like the past few years, I hate to rag on NASCAR because I have a lot of history with it, but the past few years has just seen the stupidest changes to the sport. Stage
Like I
racing,
said,
the playoff format at the end. I was fine with the chase for the cup, but the playoff format at the end, my God, it's the
NASCAR
dumbest
is
thing.
suffering. NASCAR is suffering. It's losing its main audience, and it just can't gentrify. It can't get itself to appear intriguing to millennials. To a lot of millennials, NASCAR's boring. And the stage racing was a unique concept when it was first introduced, but it is widely hated among NASCAR fans. NASCAR would be better off getting rid of the stages altogether for the races. It just
I
away
would
for
I
the
would
true purpose.
I would say get away from stages, go back to the old chase for the cup format, and you should at least be fine. Because the one thing they are doing that I do like is that they're going to new circuits. They're racing at the Daytona Road Course. They got Circuit of the Americas on the calendar. I cannot wait to see that race.
Like I said, NASCAR has been pretty much one of the few sports that, let's be honest, it wasn't affected by Corona outside the little
The
delay
little
that
break.
we had.
And guess what? During that break, we had all the iRacing events, which was the most entertaining thing NASCAR's done.
And it got a lot of attention for maybe one
Yeah,
thing we should
some
talk
good,
about,
some
but
some good, some bad, but
it was intriguing and one of the few sports that could do that. But congrats to Michael McDowell. You
and
deserve this win.
let's talk
Even
about the other elephant in the room.
Keselowski.
Let's talk about some of the newcomers, some of the new teams. Let's talk about Michael Jordan's team for a moment. Were you impressed
Oh
with
God.
how they performed? I mean, yes, 16th is 16th, but still, first race, that's not bad.
And it's not terrible, but I don't know. You just wonder if this new team's going to survive because racing costs a lot of money. If you have sponsors, you're
Oh,
basically
I read
out.
that wrong. I meant 17th, not 16th. But
Oh,
hey,
that's all right.
there was also another bit of history in this race. Bubba Wallace led one lap at Daytona. He led one, becoming the first African American to lead a Daytona 500.
I'm sure that got a lot of booze there at good old Daytona.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything over the sound of my cheering and the sound of the engines. What booing? What fans in Florida? I'm sorry, did you hear anything, Butch? I sure as hell didn't hear anything. Then again, my hearing was shot after probably a four and a half. I don't even know how long that delay was.
6 hours.
A 6 hour delay. I'm pretty sure my hearing was tuned out after some point.
I was at the race 3 years ago. If there had been a 6 hour delay, I would have left. I would have left after an hour. I'm not gonna sit around the stadium for 6
in
hours.
a non-pandemic world, if you had a 6 hour delay, you went to your hotel and they still went on the race, would you be pissed as hell?
I had this experience with a baseball game when I was a kid. The game was delayed 5 hours and ended up being like one of the latest games ever played in MLB history, and it was a Tigers win. So yeah, at the time I was pissed off, but I could understand my mom and dad wanting to get home because my dad had to work the next morning. Yeah, I get it from a fan perspective because you're not going to book a hotel through Sunday going into Monday. A lot of those fans are going to leave Daytona after Sunday. They got to get to work on Monday. I'd be pissed off if they continued the race, but in a pre-pandemic world with how many thousands of people in the stands, I'm not gonna try to fight my way back into the crowd after going there to the stadium for the first time.
You better be packing the nearest bar and watching that race.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, pretty much the only way you're gonna get me to watch that race.
Any other notes to take away from this race? I do have one. I'm surprised Derek Cope is still around.
Derek Cope? Really?
Yeah.
How old is he? Oh my God, he's 62.
Yeah, he's 62. And one thing I thought was hilarious is that
he won over 30 years ago. Wow. He won 30 years ago.
His last race officially is now Daytona, but pretty sure his last win. He's been in NASCAR for.
His last win was in 1990.
Exactly. It's been 30 years since his last win. He's only won twice. He won Daytona, and then he won the Budweiser 500 at Dover that year.
The same season. Holy crap!
God, this guy is like, one thing I thought was funny is that he hits the wall, brings out the first caution, and who did he hit? Bubba Wallace.
Oh my God!
I swear to God, I saw conspiracy theories going through my head. Like, he's trying to take out this guy. All right,
Jesus.
One more note I do want to bring up before we move on is that Pitbull has a team, and he was the starter. He's the one saying start your engines, and they did a little segment where he did it in both English and Spanish before they showed him live, and he did it in English. And all I can say is that maybe if you want to try to bring new fans to NASCAR, you get these people that millennials will attach. I don't think Pitbull is one of those people.
No, he is a Florida native.
He is a Florida native, which I
could have seen Homestead working for him.
Homestead would have been a lot better for him. And Sasha Banks being the flag wave to signal green flag, that was, I don't know, as a WWE fan, I smiled at that.
Should have gotten the weekend.
No,
I know he's a Canadian boy.
No, I'll say if they have to race like what's the name of the Canadian track they race in F1? It has the Wall of Champions. I can't think. I'll say if they ever go back to Canada and race on that track, they could get the weekend to do that.
Oh, Jesus. Well, enough about flag waving and starting your engines. We got something revving up at Philly, if you want to talk about that.
Yes. Again, we cannot.
The NFL anymore.
The NFL season's done, but we cannot escape it, especially since two big things have happened.
First, let's talk about Carson Wentz.
Yes, Carson Wentz is now a Colt.
I did not like that return.
I was shocked at that trade. I thought, really, this is where we're going.
A third-round pick and here is where it gets interesting. A conditional second-round pick for next year's draft that turns into a first-rounder. But how that works is Wentz needs to play at least 75% of Colts' offensive snaps in 2021 for the conditional pick to become a first-round pick. I'm not saying Wentz was any better than Stafford. They should have got at least a first-round pick for Wentz. At least a guaranteed first round. And then to make the to make it even shittier, they're eating a record $33.8 million in dead cap, the highest a team has ever taken for a player in their history. So you just know the extension they gave him after the Super Bowl was an utter fucking failure.
Yeah, that's... You know what else annoys the shit out of me about this trade, though? The fact that just now I'm hearing that the Bears had a shot before they committed to Colts. And the more I think about it, the more I realize if we got Carson Wentz and all we had to do is get rid of 2 draft picks, shit.
And you guys are really going for the Philly special.
Yeah.
First Big Dick Nick, and then you guys try to go after Wentz. Oh boy.
I mean, we did sign Mark Sanchez. We did sign the king of the butt fumbles. So it's not impossible for.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah, do not
I
remind.
don't mind.
Do
I
not
don't
remind
mind
me.
Wentz. I do not mind Wentz on the Colts. I still think he has a little bit left in the gas tank, but 2017 seems so long ago, and ever since that year, he just has not seemed the same. I know his relationship with the Eagles deteriorated, especially with Doug Peterson, the way those two interacted throughout the season. And then he went behind and played behind Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's got to hurt. You're playing behind a rookie quarterback. But, excuse me, the Eagles don't get shit back. You know, a third-round pick really ain't going to be much, especially since it's going to be, I think, 85th? Yes, 85th.
Excuse me.
And Hurts is not expected to be the starter. They're expected to bring in competition for the starting quarterback role. So, really did not really get much out of this trade, to be honest. I would give this trade a C.
I would actually.
I know Wentz was.
No, go ahead. You finish.
I'm saying Wentz was definitely one of the more sought out free agents and definitely one of the more sought out quarterbacks in this offseason. But I mean, the return they got was just putrid. Like I said, a guaranteed first should have come out of this trade, but no, a conditional second round pick that could turn the first, depending on whether or not Wentz stays healthy for next year.
It's a possibility he could. I'm not going to rule it out, but he could.
Do you think the Colts are going to make the playoffs next year with Wentz?
If it was like the AFC, if the AFC next year is like the AFC was this past year, hell no.
I do not think the Colts are going to make it back.
No. No. This is I think what this should be is an opportunity for the Colts to look at possibly looking at other quarterbacks, maybe in the draft. Not this year, but next year. If there's any left.
So is this going to be kind of like a 1-year gimmick?
Well,
like what?
Well, we've seen 1-year gimmicks before turn out to be spectacular surprises. So it could be possible that Wentz actually does do something enough for them to justify keeping him around a little while longer.
I said, I thought with Phillip Rivers, I really had hope for him if he had returned. But like I said, this is now where the Colts are. You don't get to choose the road of their aged superstars. You just wonder what the former North Dakota State alum has to offer. As for the Eagles, get your shit together, guys.
Please.
Well,
then again, this is a team where their number one fan has probably the dumbest screen name ever. Fight me, Philly. You and I both know who that is. But outside, we now move to some more tragic news. Vincent Jackson passed away.
Yeah,
this past week.
Young at the age of 38, a very, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say he wasn't well known, but he was quite the superstar.
Like you knew, like you would recognize him if you seen him play, but he wasn't a Hall of Famer. He wasn't a big name, but you would say Vincent Jackson, like, oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I mean, reports are coming out about his death, and one of the things they're reporting now is alcoholism may have played a factor in his death.
And possibly CTE. Citing a autopsy report.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just sad when you see someone like this.
It's sad because I know the NFL's a rough game, but to have a player, I know 38 seems a bit on the older end for NFL, but still, that's young. That's still young in general. When most people, unfortunately, pass away at like 70s or their 80s, this guy died before he hit 40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's rough.
What was Steve McNair? He died. Steve McNair died. I think it was like at 39, not too long ago. Wow, let me just check.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Jackson played 12 seasons, in the NFL, and it had been a while since he played. 2016 was his last year. He was a three-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he was known, but you just hate to see guys go out like this. It's just like crap, dude.
Yeah.
You really don't want to see incidents like this. Steve McNair, he was 36. Like I said, that was a tragic first suicide that happened to him. I would like to see, they should study his brain. And like I said, we would like to see, if this was symptoms of CTE. Because I feel like we're still learning about that.
We are a long way away from truly figuring out the full mysteries of what CTE does to people.
The scary fucked up part is it's scaring athletes today. You're seeing a lot of athletes retiring early because of concussion protocol and because of fears of suffering from CTE. This is going to be a prolonged battle, and it's going to be years before we truly know the full effects of CTE and if there is some sort of a cure, a drug, whatever, any way to kind of combat people who get diagnosed with CTE. But like I said, we're a long ways off from that shit.
All right, since he does have a few records with the Bucks, I expect hopefully by the start of the 2021 season that they do a tribute for him.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like the Chargers and the Bucks are definitely
the Chargers and the Bucks will definitely do something for him. Let's move away from sad news and into something that's actually been kind of entertaining in like the first two games. Let's talk about the fan-controlled football league.
The return of Johnny Manziel.
The return of Johnny Manziel. Let's talk about first. For those of you not in the know, the fan-controlled football league is essentially a specialized football league. There's only 4 teams, but the gimmick here is that since it's on Twitch, the fans, and I use fans loosely given Twitch's audience, but they call the plays. They make a lot of the core decisions that make the game up.
It's on a somewhat smaller field. It gives you the feel of arena football.
I fucking miss arena football, man.
They just canceled it.
Oh god, you know what I just remembered? I remember arena football's video games. Oh, those games were so fun, but they were so stupid too. But seriously,
I was just like the fact that you could run someone.
No, I'm not saying no. Arena football's still around. Just the arena football, me and Butch, the arena football that had the Chicago Rush as a team, that league's dead. But there's still other arena football leagues out there. It's just anyway. Back to fan controlled football.
The reason why I bring up arena football is because it has that atmosphere indoors. If this had fans, the fans would be right there where the action's at with good sight lines and whatnot. And this is being done properly. It is being held at a single venue in Georgia.
Speaking of that venue, excuse me, I'm sorry, that hot toddy's coming back to me now.
Oh, don't worry about it, friend. I understand.
One thing I was going to say, what I like about the arena they have is that, again, referencing my WWE fans out there, this stadium they're playing at gives these similar vibes to what WWE is doing with the Thunderdome now. Basically it's a ring. Basically, what the Thunderdome is, it's basically a WWE setup, but instead of fans in the ring, they got a bunch of LED screens, LED monitors, and they show fans. Fans can literally stream themselves from their webcams, acting like they're actually in the arena. And that's what I feel like that the FCF is doing right now. And if this league grows, they should incorporate more of the Thunderdome elements into it. Like you're not gonna get 1,000 LED screens, but to have like something, do what the NFL did when they had that little monitor where when the defense or the offense make a big play, they celebrate in front of that monitor to fans.
And the Wendy's cam.
The Wendy's cam, yes. I couldn't think of the name. Yes, the Wendy's cam. They should do something like that.
I really hope this sticks. I do not think it's going to get the audience level that the XFL got before Corona hit.
No. It could.
I am excited with the prospect of the fans calling the plays.
One of the advantages of Twitch is that you expose it to now a bigger audience. Because why I say fans loose is because you're not getting just football fans here. You're getting gamers in on this too. Like, to anyone here Do anyone here has played?
Gator
Seen
nerds.
Do anyone here who has seen? Oh my god! Anyone here who has seen Twitch plays
Dude, they should
Pokemon?
just rename one of the teams the nerds.
I mean, we have wild we have wild aces and beast as teams, so it's
it's possible.
We can get
if they expand the
we
more
can get
teams,
we can get the isotopes as a team. The isotopes can be a team.
Oh God, no! Please, God help us.
Oh God.
But here's the thing: will the plays be hijacked?
I could see that being a potential issue.
Second and goal, like on a second and long, you think the fans would call for like a punt or like a fake punt, or something stupid like that.
I'm
pretty sure we're gonna see shit.
I'm pretty sure. Now keep in mind, folks, we only know about this league because I've been keeping up with like little tidbits here and there. I will be honest, I didn't watch any games. I just got news that this league did its first games, so I don't know what the full format is. So there may actually be, because here's a hypothetical situation I would do if I was running the league. I would set it up so that, okay, so it's second and goal. And like in Madden, you have suggested plays, like 3 suggested plays, and the fans pick which one to run.
One part I'm a little concerned about is the 10-second run clock between plays. So my guess is as soon as a play is called, you only have 10 seconds to get to the line and snap the ball off. I do like the urgency, but 10 seconds is not a lot of time to relay that information to your teammates and get them set up properly on the line. Especially say you're trying to draw them offsides for a penalty flag or whatnot.
Well, here's another thing. Here's another thing I've been thinking about this whole. What if the fans vote for one play and the fans for the offense vote for one play and the fans for defense vote another play, and then the quarterback realizes, okay, something's wrong here. Can I call audible? Is there an audible rule? Is there an actual audible rule?
We have to look into that, but I feel like the quarterback could do that. The one thing we're not talking about, and the one other part I really like about this league, how about the 2-point conversion? I think that's cool that the guy's basically taking it off a chair and it's a one-on-one duel to get the 2-point conversion. I think that's badass. Because that eliminates having to have 11 players on the field and run an extra play. It's literally just one-on-one. It feels like conditioning drills at a football practice. And just seeing some of the attempts, I mean, they go up and above to try to rustle that fucking football.
All right. So I found part of the fan-controlled football rule book. So I'm looking over the rules right now, and all I can say is some of these rules, they're crazy. This is some crazy stuff. But I will actually sit down and watch the next game that comes on.
I will definitely put some time into next week to at least seeing some more of the highlights or seeing it live.
Will you see participation? Will you, Butch, actually be a part of this and participate in the play calling for the next game?
Maybe.
Maybe you and I should go in and we each like do different.
I would just keep calling for fake punts.
Right.
I'm like 4th and long from like the 10. Just fake punt it. Yeah, you could be as dumb as Dallas. I'm gonna pull Mike McCarthy, and maybe this time I'll have a better success rate than he does. Let's stick with football for one more story. I know we're trying to promise to stick away from it, but the FCS is fully coming back starting this week. Some of the leagues have decided to opt in for spring football. I just want what your opinion. Are you going to watch any of these games?
Well, you gotta remember the FCS has a history of not having like major games on any of the major networks, unless it's like a tournament.
That's if you have ESPN Plus, like I do,
which I don't. I do not at the moment.
Oh, that sucks for you. Some of the games will be picked up. You might have maybe like one of the major networks like Fox, or maybe like whatever. Well, I guess Fox Sports Plus is FS1 is changing its name soon, but you might be able to see a couple of games this season. I really want to see how North Dakota State does.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is their top prospect quarterback has decided to sit out for the spring. So the Alabama of FCS football, for the first time in years, is truly vulnerable. But they got some apparent prospect in the transfer pool from Iowa. So we'll see how the Fighting Bison do this year. But I want spring football, dude. I think this is fun for I'm not going to call it the minor leagues of collegiate football, but it's good to get away from the shadow of Big Brother and play in the spring. This is something that they should seriously consider. I think the smaller colleges would be better off if they played their games in the spring instead of the fall. What about you? How do you interpret this? Is this kind of just a one-time thing thanks to Corona?
I feel like this is a one-time thing. Like here's the problem I have with it. As you know, I have a lot of problems with college football as a whole, especially since we have two different subdivisions for top-tier football. But given the fact that apparently the FBS and the FCS like to run two different things and the two don't ever meet, it's possible they can actually move everything to the spring. But the other issue is, I know some of these players, that complicates your draft process. Basically, some of these players are going to get drafted to the NFL. So now having to play in the spring really kind of, I wouldn't say it fully messes up your draft prospects, but you have to now shift your window.
Unless you're able
what's the deadline to declare for the draft?
I want to say it's February or March.
The point is, if you play in the spring, you have to basically declare before the start of your... If you play in the spring, you have to declare before the start of the season that you're going to the draft.
January 18th. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that really screws up the draft process for a lot of these kids.
If they can make an exception and move it up, and before a certain date, that would
have to be something the NFL and the NCAA have to come to agreement on.
Like I said, in due time, we'll find that out.
I feel like with the pandemic year, though, the NFL should make an exception. But this is the NFL and this is the NCAA, so who knows what's going to come of it.
What the FBS is going to be pissed off about is they're not going to be able to schedule non-conference games with teams for the FCS. I'm not wanting to play.
Yeah, that means Alabama can't run over an FCS team.
Or FCS team ultimately depends an FBS team.
All right, so do you see the FBS teams being superior to the FCS teams? Like, if you take the best FCS team and put it up against one of, let's say, the middle FBS, do you see FCS just steamrolling over them? Let's for example, let's put North Dakota State up against, let's say, Duke. Is North Dakota State going to roll over them?
Yes.
All right, let's go a little higher. Let's say IU. Let's go with the Hoosiers.
That would be a competitive game pre-2019. I would say yes. 2020 with IU being as good as they were, I'd say it'd be a close matchup. I think IU gets the win. So it depends on the conference and it depends on the school. Alabama and North Dakota State, that's the matchup I want to see. North Dakota State would probably get crushed, but it would still be an interesting game. Instead of having a Tuscaloosa, have it at the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, Fargo Dome. That actually would be a pretty nice place to...
Think about this. They play indoors. That's the one thing about That's the only thing about the program I hate. North Dakota State plays indoors, from what I remember. Stand by 1 second. I just want to just double check here real fast.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
All right. So here's another thing that I thought about, and it's something that slightly annoys me, but it really doesn't annoy me as much as it should. Given the fact that there are two different leagues of football at the top tier in the NCAA, there's two different rankings.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to have teams play against each other, then either those games should not factor into the rankings, or you should just make the whole thing one giant ranking system.
Let's make it one giant ranking system.
I prefer, if they're going to do two separate things, have those games where they play against each other not count towards the rankings. because I know the FCS uses their rankings to determine tournament players, tournament teams, and all that.
Yeah.
The point, the point,
Jeez.
the point is that college football is weird.
It is a very, very, very odd little child. All right, we're going to finally cut off the umbilical cord and get away from football.
Let's get away from football, mate. Let's go. Let's get away from football. Let's go to basketball. Small update. I'm sorry. The next two things we're going to talk about bring a smile to my face.
All right, I'm listening.
All right. So, as usual, we always like to talk shit when the Bulls and Pistons play each other.
Mm-hmm.
We normally talk shit. Well, this past game, which took place on, let me double check my schedule. Let me double check. Yeah, it took place yesterday on the 17th. And the Bulls walk away 105-102.
Close.
It was close. It was close. But
the Pistons.
But for a long time, your Pistons were at one point had the game in the bag. Like, I shouldn't say they had the game in the bag at the second half, but when you're come on. 60. What was halftime? Halftime was what? 61-41 at halftime.
Yes.
Oh, 61-43. 61-43 at half.
Still
though, considering it's your Pistons, they should have had.
This season has been painful. We had to postpone our previous two games, one against Dallas and then one against the Spurs because of the Texas Stowe-Mageddon store. But,
yeah, the first delay, it's not COVID related.
Yeah, so this game is just, it's kind of, we had hope, right? And it's kind of funny saying that considering Detroit sports teams have just been god awful for like the last 5 years.
I say this surprisingly because the guy that basically took over and brought the Bulls the win was Zach LaVine, and you know my opinion on Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is what I want. This is what part of the reason I want to talk about, because this is, I don't know what that says more about Zach LaVine or what it says more about the Pistons. There are things we could talk about the Pistons in relation to a certain player.
The dick punches continue. Blake Griffin is
yes,
no longer
Blake Griffin. Yeah.
Let's get
not
that
officially. Basically, he was benched in the worst way possible.
Yeah, if you're about to trade a player, don't put him out on the floor for the whole fucking world to see.
Which is his job. To go out and play.
It was so fucking stupid, and it's just got all on Detroit sports personnel.
And he wasn't even the first one. He wasn't the first one. No. Andre Drummond in Cleveland was the other one. He was the catalyst that led to the Pistons doing the same thing with Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Was it Drummond or was it? Am I misreading? Am I reading this wrong? Was it?
I think you're misreading it. No. So Drummond does not want to play for the Cavs anymore.
No, that's why I want to know if was I saying the right guy.
Into it right now. You're thinking Derrick Rose because Rose.
Yeah, I was saying was I saying the right guy? That's what I was trying to say.
No. I'm not gonna say you were saying the wrong guy. I'm just gonna say what almost happened in Detroit is now happening in Cleveland because let's be honest, Drummond fucking hated Detroit after like his 4th or 5th season. He wanted out, but he liked how much he's getting paid. And then, lo and behold, when everything started unraveling in Detroit, he wanted out. He pulled out the golden parachute and went to Cleveland of all teams. And now a season later, all Detroit's laughing at him. Now that he wants out of Cleveland. Blake Griffin, on the other hand, oh my God. He's just more well known for dating a Kardashian than he is a basketball player. He's not that good.
He had a gimmick. He had a gimmick. We all love the gimmick. It never really went anywhere, especially in LA.
We're glad he's gone, but just the way it all came apart.
No, he's not officially gone yet. He's still technically part of your roster. The trade hasn't been done yet. Nothing's done yet.
It's pretty much
it's a done deal. He's leaving, but he's not officially traded. He's just basically saying, okay, you want to get traded? Sit on the bench, sit in the clubhouse. We'll talk to you later. Now here's something I want to ask you, Butch.
Oh,
Here's something I want to ask you, Butch. I understand if a player wants a trade that they want to trade. But is it right for a team to completely isolate that player, to basically tell him to just go sit on the bench, go in the locker room? Is it right for them to do that? Because I feel like
it's all right. It's all right if he wants to work out, but don't have him on camera. Put him in the locker room. Don't have it be a fucking distraction for the whole media to lay their 2 cents on.
So you're saying, like, here's the thing with Drummond is that they're basically saying, all right, you want to trade, we won't play you. I know you want to trade. We're just gonna sit you on the sidelines. You're in timeout. That's my complaint.
If I'm Drummond, let me sit at home, or let me go home until you get rid of my ass. Because if you're not gonna play me, why the fuck do I need to show up?
It's
like on the other hand
this is beyond the fact that I understand. I understand if a player and an organization can't come together, but
do not try to make this sound like the players are paid. This is
they're not. No,
in the front office.
No, that's the problem. Is that what I'm saying is that if a player wants to be traded, fine, they'll trade. But you still treat him as an NBA player. You don't treat him like some kid and send him to timeout, because that's what Cleveland did.
Cleveland and Detroit could both learn from their
Cleveland and Detroit can learn to be fucking grown-ups.
Yeah.
Basically, here's the thing to all the NBA and all its professional sports. If you have a player who all he wants is a trade, all he wants is a simple trade, don't treat him like a fucking child, unless they pull something like Antonio Brown does, Le'Veon Bell. Unless they pull something like that.
Enough with the dick punches. All right, enough.
Let's get some more dick punches. Let's go to the NHL.
Oh my god!
Let's go. Shit. Two in a row. I know I'm happy, folks. Two in a row. Blackhawks get one up on the Red Wings twice. We are 4-0 against them this year.
Oh my god.
But that's not what I want to talk about in terms of the NHL. That's not. Even though I could sit here all day and relish the fact that I'm just drinking Butch's salty tears now.
Oh, you're drinking my vinegary piss is what you're drinking.
What I really want to talk about is the Lake Tahoe series. This, I think this is going to be the substitute for the Winter Classic. But goddamn, did you see the rink they built?
Yeah,
holy
on the
shit!
This is right next.
This is amazing.
Anyone that knows where this is going to be practically in the state line of Nevada and California, overlooking Lake Tahoe. I've been to Lake Tahoe. I was there 2 years ago. I was there in September 2019, right before everything hit. We were in Reno for a wedding, and Lake Tahoe is fucking gorgeous. Like, that would be the winter Mecca destination I would want to be if I lived closer. Like, if I lived on the West Coast, I feel like I'd be going to Lake Tahoe every year. I think this is a interesting format, an interesting location they want to do that, because Canada wasn't going to work out. They tried looking at Minnesota and Wisconsin. Those two sites didn't work out. Lake Tahoe is sparsely populated. You're not going to have that many people come into the game. You're not going to have anyone at the game, for that matter. I think the location stands out. I think the NHL did something really good and very cordially acceptable in a pandemic like this. I'm going to watch this game, to be honest, just because I know it's going to be at Lake Tahoe, and I know how
I will watch this game too. I'm looking at some of the plans they have for the game. Like, they have Green Day performing there.
Oh God!
Now, even though I've not liked some of their more recent stuff, I'm a huge fan of Green Day.
My mom has hated that ever since American Idiot came out. She thought it was one of the most unpatriotic songs of all time.
Oh God, American Idiot is one of my favorite albums of all time.
I fell in love with that song.
That whole album is one of the. If I were to make a list of top 10 albums I've ever heard in my life, it would be in the top 10.
I think for her, it was the music video where they wiped the American flag of its colors and just paint it green. I think that was the part she didn't like in particular. But Green Day is honestly one of my favorite bands of all time. Green Day is probably up there on my bucket list of artists I want to see perform live. I think that's cool that the NHL is getting up to at least come to Lake Tahoe to perform.
Before the pandemic, Green Day, I think it was Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. They were supposed to have like a joint show at Wrigley Field before the pandemic broke out. I was trying my damnedest to go to that
It was
show.
supposed to be at Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, look it up. Look, I'm dead freaking serious.
No. I thought it was supposed to be in Raleigh.
No, they were part
You're
of a
telling me it
tour.
was going back to Chicago?
It was a part of a tour. It was part of a tour.
Wow. Wow, if that's the case, I'm honestly surprised by that.
Like I'm literally trying to look at it right now to prove to you.
It was 2021 was supposed to be at Target Field. It was supposed to be in Minneapolis.
No, they were part. They were part of this. I think it was called the Hella Mega Tour.
Oh, you're talking about the outdoor series.
Yes, that
That's
was
weird.
Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and
Okay,
Weezer.
please do not confuse those two. Please do not confuse those two. All right. No.
What tour were you thinking of?
No. All I'm saying is, oh wait, no, you're not even talking about the NHL. Wait a second.
No.
I thought you were saying they were performing.
I'm talking about when
Never
Green
mind.
Day was. We talked about. Okay, backtrack, folks. But quote me if I'm wrong on this. But we said we were talking about Green Day, and I said Green Day, Fall Out Boy, Weezer were supposed to do a show at Wrigley Field, but the pandemic
I thought you
canceled the
meant
show.
like the Winter Classic.
No,
I thought
not-
you meant like intermission show or something.
No,
That's what I thought you meant. Okay.
No.
What I thought you meant was the outdoor series. I'm like, how dare you bring the outdoor series into this?
No.
I'm gonna say about the outdoor series.
I moved on to something outside sports.
Oh, can I say this about the outdoor series? Should we really be having those? Or is this kind of like a gimmick that's kind of gone wrong because
Well,
of some
here-
of these some of the event stadium choices? Like last year, Falcon Stadium was a disaster at Colorado Springs. For starters, they had no plans for traffic. Had fans commuting from Denver and fans that didn't even make it to the game. It was a utter shit show. Then the year before that, you had it at Lincoln Financial. I'm not saying Philly's not a terrible option for a Winter Classic or for a stadium series, but you expect it at more maybe
Wait.
I don't know, like Fesco
Wait,
Field.
Wait, you said last year, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you say last year was
2020.
again?
February 15th, it was at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
We're referring to Winter Classics, we're referring to outdoor series, not the Winter Classic. Right?
I was just talking about the outdoor series for a second. So this one's going to be the outdoor series.
Okay.
This game at Lake Tahoe is going to be the outdoor
Okay, this
series.
time I think I was confused because I was assuming you were still talking about the Winter Classic.
Oh, no. I was talking about how disgraceful the outdoor, the NHL Stadium Series. I call it the outdoor series. The NHL Stadium Series is. No, but this is going to be a quote-unquote NHL Stadium Series event, even though it's just going to be called NHL Outdoors at Lake Tahoe. We can't confirm the 2022 Winter Classic is going to be held at Target Field. They are going to bring it back to where it was supposed to be as of this year. It's going to be hosted there on New Year's of next year.
Okay,
But-
let me talk about the outdoor series for a quick second. Something I want to say. Personally, I do like the Winter Classic as a whole in terms of the fact of doing these games like these big stadiums, but when I think more about just hockey in general, putting an event like this at Lake Tahoe to me screams like, yeah, this is like backdoor hockey, but you got the pros doing it. I would love to see more of these games in locations like Lake Tahoe or locations that look like they're out there nowhere.
Lake Placid would be cool. You could have done like the 30-year anniversary of the Miracle on Ice 2 years, last year.
Basically,
before Corona hit.
I'm a sucker for like rustic pond hockey type environments. If they
I
could do
think
an
what you should
all-star
do-
game format like
but
this,
they
I would pay to see that.
What they should do is bring back the Heritage Classic, have it hosted in Canada, and switch it off. So every 2 years, a Canadian team plays a Canadian team. The year in between those, a Canadian team hosts an American team. but have a team that's close to the board. So, like, say 1 year Buffalo is going to play, then Detroit, then Chicago, then Minnesota. Then you could do Seattle. The Seattle Kraken's playing the Vancouver Canucks would be an epic series to have at some pond out on the freaking Pacific Ocean or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Can I just say the Seattle Kraken? I do not like that name. I just don't like.
I find that name hilarious, but when you consider how many names you could actually use that's not already being used, like what? How many bird names are there in sports?
I think you should have brought in like the pilots back. I think that would have been a cool one. Got permission from Major League Baseball to use that. That would have been a cool one to honor the aviation industry and Boeing's presence inside the city of Seattle.
I'm going to piss off a few people, and I say Krakens is a better name than pilots.
I'm not gonna justify that with a response. How dare you?
All right. Well, then justify. Well, then, did you have a response to what the hell happened to Serena Williams in the Australian Open?
Other than if this is going to be the end of her career, not really. No.
What made it so weird is that she's been dominating up until that match with Naomi. And let's remember the history between those two. And
all I'm going to say is I'm not a fan of women's tennis. I'm not a fan of Serena Williams. And personally, I think she's a bit overrated. Venus, no question, is beyond overrated, and she honestly should be playing. Serena at least gives you a decent chance to win a major, but I mean, Serena's window, Serena's apex has come and gone. She's now in the downswing of her career. Yes, I could see her in it for a couple more years, but you knew this was coming. You know she's not going to make the final. And you know she's gonna. I'm not saying get upset. I'm not gonna say this was an upset, but you knew she was gonna lose. Let's not kid ourselves here.
All right. First off, how fucking dare you? I know some of the criticisms levied her way. Yes, some of those criticisms are valid, but to say she's overrated, considering all that she's done for, part of
I've lost respect for her ever since she told that line judge to shove a tennis ball down her fucking throat. Ever since then, I've not looked at her.
And here's the thing I want to bring up: the fact that Serena said, "What if Rafael Nadal said something like that? What if Novak Djokovic said something like that? What if Andy Murray?" Like, I'm not trying to play a certain card that I shouldn't play.
I know what you're trying to say.
I know you know what I'm trying to say, but all I'm saying is that some of the criticism, I know she gets a lot of criticism. Some of it's valid, but can some people just lay the fuck off her? I think part of the problem is the fact that she's so close to this record that we are scrutinizing every step of the way. And we've done this before.
I'm not saying she's as what's the word I'm looking for? She's not like Tiger Woods.
No, right? She's not like Tiger. But how many? I'm not saying we've done this for our people before. Like, I hate to bring up football. Let's talk about Tom Brady. How many times have we criticized Tom Brady?
When you say your people, are you bringing up like a race thing? Is this what you're trying to imply?
I'm bringing up.
I'm bringing up the fact that she's black
and a woman, a black woman. So yeah, double whammy right there. But anyway, let's talk about Tom Brady for a second. You and I have talked a lot about Tom Brady. We were criticizing, we've been making jokes. We criticized him all the way up until he actually won his Super Bowl. The point is, some of the criticism, like I said, some of the criticism against Serena is valid. But some of this hate, this vitriol, some of this, like, what the fuck are you? You're so overrated. Please, people, shut the fuck up. She's getting close to a record. And I know a lot of people want to see her break the record, but a lot of people also want to see her not break the record. And they have said some very, very controversial shit about it. I think at the very least, let's take away everything that happened at what happened at the Australian Open. She lost. Yeah, she lost. She's going to get another crack at it. Unless it gets to a point where it's very clear she can't keep up at a high level. She made the semifinals, for crying out loud. She dominated on her way up to the semifinals. That's more enough to say that, hey, she has a chance to break this record.
You have to give her
teeny bit of credit. I will say that, but man, it just seems like if she's gonna catch the record, it seems like her window's shutting fast.
The window is shutting fast. I do agree with that. The window is shutting fast. But all I'm asking is just, can we just lay off the criticism? If you want to criticize her, can we wait till after everything's said and done? Don't start harping on this hate and criticism now.
Holy shit! Oh.
What'd you find? What'd you just find out?
I've just looked at match controversies, and this isn't something Serena said. This is something a Romanian television host made comments about during on broadcast. Can I please read this?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm going to regret doing this, but go ahead, read it.
Serena Williams looks like one of those monkeys at the zoo with the red asses.
And what's that name? And what's the name of that guy again? Can you say it on the record?
Radu Banku.
Whoa, Radu Banku, go fuck yourself. If you step in the U.S., I'll shove a tennis ball down your fucking throat and see how you like it. I'll smack your ass until you have a red ass. Let's see how you like it. Anyway, the big outside my little tangent there. The one thing I do want to say is that she did say if she was gonna end it, she was just gonna end it. She wasn't gonna. She's not gonna like make some big grand gesture. She's just gonna say, if I'm done, I'm done. And
we'll see. We'll see.
Her exact words were, "I don't know if I ever say farewell. I wouldn't tell anyone so. So if she says goodbye, it's gonna, I would say, come out of nowhere, because you could probably tell by, you could probably see when she's gonna say it, but she's not gonna make some grand. She's not gonna make some like build up saying, "Oh, this is gonna be my last one. This is gonna be my last one." She'll probably she'll probably lose something and then say, "I'm done. That's it. I'm walking away."
Her last major was the Australian Open back in 2017, and since then she's had 4 finals appearances, 2 of them at Wimbledon and 2 of them at the U.S. Open.
And she's come short in both, and she's come short in all those.
Yep.
The point is, she's there. She's making it there. She's coming close. It's not like she's trying to chase that last one and gets knocked out in the first, second round. No, she's making the semifinals and the finals of these competitions.
Do you see her in there for a couple more years after she goes past 40, or do you see her kind of approaching, like, it's going to come to a point of where it's just like, you just got to hang up the racket?
I see at least 1 or 2 more finals out of her, but as for winning them, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
She's one of the highest women's paid athletes. She's definitely the highest paid female athlete.
Probably the most recognizable female tennis star in the world.
Oh, absolutely the most recognizable female athlete.
Although, congratulations to Naomi Osaka. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Congratulations to her. You are the future of tennis, I would say. I really hope to see a lot of great things out of you. Who knows? Maybe you'll come close to that record. So maybe a few years down the road, we do the same song and dance again.
Oh my god, I feel like time will tell on that one. All right, do you have anything else you want to add tonight?
I would say the last thing on my list is, no, I guess that's it. I ran out of things to really talk about. We hit all the major points.
Yeah.
If there's one other thing I would like to say is that check out the finals. Check out the Australian Open finals. You're in for quite a show there.
I'm just going to say a shout out. This is just sports wise and whatnot. RIP to Rush Limbaugh. It kind of came as a shock that he died. It's just one of those things. I'm saying this because he began his broadcasting. He began his career with the Kansas City Royals, I believe, as a assistant tickets manager, and he was apparently a really big fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers of all teams because of his initial start in Pittsburgh as a radio writer. Your thoughts on Rush Limbaugh?
I have nothing to say on him. Outside of that one Family Guy appearance, I have nothing to say on him.
I want to give him credit for that because he did not see that today.
He took the piss and said, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna get mocked, but hell, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna voice myself."
The song Republican Town, I just can't stop playing on repeat.
Now see,
and I played it.
Now, could you imagine him doing something like that with American Dad? How more over the top it would be.
You're not calling. You're saying Republican Town definitely wasn't over the top.
No, I'm not saying if that was American Dad, it would have been way more. Because you had Lois, who was basically like.
Yeah.
You had Lois, who was basically saying that Rush Limbaugh brainwashed Brian, and that was kind of like the whole conflict. With American Dad, Stan would be. I hate to say this. Well, Brian was convinced. Brian was convinced and saw Rush Limbaugh, and basically saw his point of view. I guarantee you, Stan would be sucking that guy's dick as much as you can in American Dad, and Haley would be the lowest in that case.
Oh my god!
You remember the Ollie North song?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
That to me is more iconic than the Rush Limbaugh Republican Town song.
Oh my god. Oh, we've opened a new can of worms. This has been Cellar County. Your host,
we're gonna go watch American Dad. Bye. Have a wonderful time. Good night, everyone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this has been Cellar County with Butch and Coffee. I'm gonna go watch the American Dad now. I'm in the mood for
I think
it.
I'm gonna die of laughter.
You're gonna die of laughter, and I'm gonna die of alcoholism. We'll see you guys next week.